Hello and welcome to the latest podcast in the world. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and I set my alarm for AM instead of PM, and I slept through it. Oh,
We could
and I
start
was
doing this at 4 a.m.
we
That's
could we could. Uh,
give
so
me a
uh,
reason in the morning.
yeah, so we're gonna do a very quick weekend checkup. So Caleb, how
Yeah,
you doing?
good. So right now, I don't. I've been having my face cam on recently. I don't have it today because we're moving out of one place going into another within the next couple weeks. We have an inspection tomorrow, so the backdrop is very messy. Um, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. You got to make a place messy in order to clean it up. So that's what we're working on right now. Um, and as far as pop culture, uh, I spent my week just binging The Bear season 1 to catch up with my parents. And then we started watching The Bear season 2. For those who haven't seen it, The Bear, FX, Hulu. It swept the Emmys this year and last year. Um, it is a great show. It is phenomenal. So if you haven't seen The Bear, check it out. It's really good.
Awesome. Um, yeah, we're gonna kind of talk fast today because we got to, like I said, I overslept and I've got somewhere to be at a certain point. Um, as for me, I finished up the Link's Awakening remake on Switch, and I was really enjoying the game. And then Nintendo's gone Nintendo and did some really weird choices.
Talk,
Um,
talk me through that because I just made a joke whenever you told me about it, but I don't. What actually was it?
yeah, so they added Dompe to the game. You know, the little gravekeeper guy.
Yeah.
And he has a little hut where once you beat dungeons, you collect tiles from those dungeons, and you can use those to. It's kind of like a Mario Maker. You can rearrange them and make your own dungeons.
Okay.
You know, great. I don't want to do that. I'm here to play Zelda.
Oh.
So I uh in the original game there was 20 secret seashells to get the secret sword, and this one there's 50. So I was, I'm getting ready to beat the game. I'm at 47 seashells, and I'm trying to figure out where they're at. So finally I'm like, okay, I'll look online. So one was a fishing one that I missed. One was a race that I'd missed, but I found most of the secret ones. So I'm like, where's number 50? You
It's
have
with
to go.
Dante.
It's with Dompe. You have to do 4 tutorials with him of building levels, and then you get a seashell. Then if you turn in that seashell to get for your 50th seashell, I've already gotten the sword. It gives you another piece for Dompe's stupid dungeon.
Okay.
So I had spent hours looking for the seashell. If I had known it was for Dompe, I wouldn't have done it. So then I noticed, oh, I'm missing an item still. What is it? So it turns out it's another bottle. How do you get it? Oh, you gotta go
Um,
do more stuff with Dompe. And I'm like, this should have been a separate $5 game, Dompe's Zelda Builder or something. It
I mean,
just
do you think that was the intention? Like this was them kind of testing the waters for a Zelda maker, and it didn't work out.
I kinda think so. And yeah, because there's a lot of logic there. Like, oh, each passageway has to connect. If there's a locked door, you gotta have enough keys, and so there's a lot of it's a lot more complicated than a Mario Maker would be.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
so
Um, sort of, because I mean, Sony made it work with 3D Dot Game Hero like 15 years ago.
mhm.
So it could be more complicated than normal, but I don't know. I think a Zelda Maker where we're at currently would really only work in like an NES like place because like all the dungeons visually are the same.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Um, then other than that, I've been watching playthroughs. I finally finished watching Vine Sauce or Vinny play through the RoboCop Prime Directive. If you are a RoboCop fan and you were disappointed how bad RoboCop 3 was, you should either play this game or watch someone play it. This is basically what RoboCop 3 should have been. A great little game. Um, so yeah, I think that's one you should check out.
You know, I don't know if we've ever talked about RoboCop. RoboCop is one of those old movies that I actually am not a fan of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you know you weren't there at the time, so I
well,
understand.
no, it has nothing to do with quality. It's more like it's the same reason I don't like Starship Troopers. Is just because of the cynicism of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it has nothing. Like as far as action and like, I'm like, okay, this is pretty dope. Like there's just a cynicism to it. I'm too happy, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark humor
Yeah.
in RoboCop.
Plus, I mean, that's Red Foreman, okay? Like, that's how I know him. I don't know. I've seen him in that. He's probably in an episode of Law and Order like everybody else. But that's Red Foreman. uh,
Right.
but
And then lastly, and I'll keep this quick, Wendigoon and Papa Meat, they do a podcast where they read creepy stuff, creepy pastas and whatever. And they did one called Baraska, and it was very interesting and a good story, but boy is it dark. It is. It goes to some really dark places, disturbing places, and the the lady who wrote that has gone on to uh, they hired her to write on what's that show you watch on Netflix, House of Usher or something.
Follow the House of Usher. So yeah.
Yeah, so she went on to become a writer on there and some other stuff.
Okay.
So
I mean that's awesome. You know, start off on
I was on Reddit. Yeah.
yeah, and then Mike Flanagan is who is like the horror guy now. Mike Flanagan's like get over here. I need you to write for me.
Right. And so Baraska, definitely not for children. It deals with some really, really heavy subjects. Apparently, they've gone back and uh, made it into a podcast, like a dramatized podcast with some pretty big actors in it. And so I've heard that that's the better way to listen to it. So maybe in the future, I'll go back and listen to that. But like I said, it was some dark stuff.
Starring Cole Sprouse. Ooh.
Yeah. And the what's her name from House is also in it.
I only know Candace Cameron. Is that who you're thinking of?
From House?
From how you said Full House. Okay, so
from
okay. So from House, are we talking Olivia Wilde?
No, his house, the lady in charge that's sort of a love interest, sort of not.
Oh, I don't know Cuddy. Yeah, I don't know the actress's name, but you're talking about Cuddy?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. You did say House, and for some reason I still went to Full House.
I was like, when was Candace Cameron on House?
Weirdest thing, I've actually never seen Full House, and I watch House all the time, so I don't know where that Freudian slip came up.
So your mamaw has never made you watch Full House?
No, but she's made me watch plenty of Rifleman.
Okay. Because I feel like I've watched a lot of Full House with mamaw, so I'm kind of confused.
I don't think it's not in syndication anymore, honestly.
Okay. It's weird how some shows will be on syndication nonstop, and also they just go away and they're just gone. Like Saved by the Bell was everywhere for a while there.
I think it's still on. That's still in syndication. Full House, I have a theory. I think it's because of Candace Cameron that it's not in syndication anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the Cosby Show, but yeah,
different.
But yeah. You know what's weird about Saved by the Bell? You know how much residuals they get for each episode every time it airs?
No,
None. none of those actors get any residuals from that show. Or at least the
Really?
teenagers don't. I don't know about Mr. Belding.
I'm trying to think, like, because if that's the case, I mean, they're doing very well for what they're doing now.
Are they? I know Mark
Mar-
Paul Gosselaar is, but
Mario Lopez,
well, yeah, those two and probably Kelly.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah,
She was on some one of those USA shows for a long time, and then
Jesse, I think is not nearly as successful after Showgirls destroyed her career.
and Lisa. I don't think she's in anything. Honestly, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, and then Screech passed away,
Yeah.
and Mr. Belding's quite a bit older now. So
Yeah. So that's your history of Saved by the Bell. We'll talk about High School Musical next week.
All right, so let's get to our. Like I said, I overslept, so that's why we're late. Is there any news, or are we just going straight into the?
So the news is the topic this week,
Okay.
because we're talking, pretty much the state of gaming. The industry is not in a. It seems to not be in a great place as of late. Blizzard Entertainment. So it's actually, so Xbox owns Activision, who owns Blizzard. So Activision Blizzard, I'm trying to think, they let go of like 1,900 employees or something like
Yes.
that. And so I'm wondering what this does for the company, because they haven't been doing great stuff. Like Diablo 4, while an initial success, has gained a lot of hatred for its business model, as well as how often you have to play it. I've heard it be considered a second job. And then, of course, there was the whole Overwatch debacle. And World of Warcraft hasn't been the top seller since probably Battle for Azeroth. Like Final Fantasy 14 kind of came in and just stole its thunder. So buying Activision Blizzard and then pretty much immediately laying off 1,900 employees.
Well, companies when they merge, they go, oh, well, now we've got two of this person, we don't need to, and so layoffs
Right.
are going to happen. That being said, most of the talent of Blizzard had left already.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do you watch Pirate Software, or do you see any of his shorts on YouTube?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay. So I'll have to send it to you. So he made. He's a big fan of Earthbound. He's the guy that. So the theorists got in trouble because they called his game another Undertale, and that was very offensive. Because it's his own thing, but it's called Heartbound, and it was inspired by Earthbound and all that. And so that's kind of where he first got his start. But I mean, he streams every day on YouTube, and he pops off with shorts. The reason I started doing shorts the way I do is because of one of his videos was talking about why shorts are so important to the YouTube algorithm. Are you familiar with so he used to work for Blizzard, and his dad used to work for Blizzard. Are you familiar with South Park and the guy with no life?
No, the guy with no life. That I've seen like the first few seasons of South Park, and then after that, it's every now and then. I'll
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen the South Park, the World of Warcraft South Park episode?
No.
Oh, okay. It's Make Love Not Warcraft. Here, give me a second. I'm gonna get this pulled up. Um,
So while you're doing that, I'm a big fan of the StarCraft 2 competition scene, and people have been hopeful for a StarCraft 3, and now it's like, well, you know what? Oh yeah, I've definitely seen this guy before.
okay. Well, so that's Pirate Software's dad, because Pirate Software's dad worked for Blizzard, like pretty much since like its inception. He worked on all of the cinematics, like Wrath of the Lich King and Frozen Throne, and like he was the director of these cinematics, and so he worked with the South Park guys, and they put him in the show. Pirate Software even said that this is his dad's apartment at the time. um, and so, anyways, I'm gonna send you Pirate Software because he actually he doesn't talk about it too often, but he does talk about the working conditions of Blizzard, and it did not sound good. I mean, obviously not, but I mean,
Yeah,
getting one person's perspective, I mean, it was bad.
yeah, I've heard the stories about it was like a frat boy culture and just not a good place.
Yeah, which is so funny because it's World of Warcraft. Like, I would expect like Infinity Ward to be like the frat boy culture. um, but yeah, I think this will be good for Blizzard because I guarantee you there was a lot of like even before like the fact that there was overlap with like merging with Microsoft. I'm sure that there was some fat that needed to be cut from Blizzard anyways.
Well, this is kind of like I feel this is like when Microsoft bought Rare. They got Rare, but they didn't get the talent that was at Rare. They had all already left,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely,
and
definitely.
this is going to be the same thing. They're going to have to rebuild Blizzard or rehire those people, but that talent is gone, and I
Yeah.
Microsoft, I feel their purchases usually don't turn out well. I mean, Minecraft is the kind of the exception to the
Yeah.
rule. So we'll see what happens here.
To give you some perspective on where the talent has gone, the creator of Hearthstone, he doesn't even work there anymore. Do you know what he's working on right now?
What is that?
Marvel Snap.
That one makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got people who like make like your biggest games, and then go on and make the death of your biggest game.
Hmm.
So, in other news, as far as layoffs, there's a Riot, specifically with Riot Forge. This one upsets me because you know I don't have the patience for League of Legends, but I love their universe, and so Riot Forge was like, "Hey, here's an RPG in the League universe. Here's a Metroidvania in the League universe. Here's a Hades roguelike um, in the
Okay.
League
So
universe."
these are the ones that made all the side games in the League of
Right,
Legends universe. Okay. I
right,
was going to
exactly.
Google all this before the show, but you know what? I fell asleep. Uh,
Yeah. Um, so, uh, but then once you look at it, it makes a lot of sense because they're the games were priced by their IP, not by the games themselves. Like they were like $15-$20 games, but because they were League, they were like $40. And so like I got Ruined King on sale for $15, and that's probably how much it should have been anyway.
right.
um, and so that's part of it. I do know that It's weird because they said that they're stopping development on everything Riot Forge, and at the same time, they're still working on Project L. They've got Project F, which so Project L is going to be their fighting game. Project F, I think, is going to be like their Devil May Cry style action game. They just announced a looter shooter a la Destiny in the Valorant universe, and then the MMO whenever that happens. So I don't know. Riot's in a weird place right now because they're successful, but even successful places need to meet their margins.
Right.
So
Well, it's the state of the economy as a as a whole, and
yeah,
it's bleeding over into a lot of the investments for these tech companies is drying up, and so and then if a game flops or doesn't perform, then it's starting to have more consequences than it did previously.
yeah. Plus, like, so the game industry is a lot like the movie industry, where like you gotta go in pretty much expecting not to make your money back. However, there are more ways to make your money back in the film industry than in the games industry.
Sure. Yeah.
Like let's say your movie doesn't do too well, but then it gets nominated for an Oscar. Like, there you go. Nobody cares if your game's nominated for a game award. uh, Speaking of game awards, let's talk about the game that's definitely going to get nominated for one. Pal World. I honestly, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, I'm kind of down with this game, and I really want to play it.
I'm the same.
Nintendo did announce that they are going to do some investigations. I gotta be honest, I don't know what those investigations will entail. Because I have the biggest defense in favor of Pal World. Because like it's like, oh, these are just ripoffs and blah blah blah, and people are like, well, no, these are animals. Nintendo doesn't own animals. But here's my biggest defense. Your Honor, I would like to direct your attention to Exhibit A. We have Magnamon from Digimon from 20 years ago, and then Armarouge from a couple years ago. I mean, it's
What
just
is Armarouge? Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah, Armarouge is a Pokemon.
Okay.
That's from Scarlet and Violet, and then Magnemon's from Digimon. And I mean, at this point, this is just another Digimon thing, where like that's all it is.
Yep.
The only issue is if Pal World did do, and there's no basis on it, but someone has accused them of actually ripping from like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet to put in their game, and then changing like some aspects. So if that's the case, then that's where it gets illegal. But anything else, I don't think that Nintendo will have anything against.
Yeah, it kind of falls into parody territory almost.
Almost, yeah. But Japan doesn't have fair use. Yeah, so like, and I learned this from Pirate Software as well. Like I said, I think you'd like Pirate Software. Maybe not watch his streams, because his streams, of course, are really long and they're at a weird time. But I just watch his shorts every day, and they're very informative. So Japan does not have fair use laws, and both of these companies are based in Japan.
Oh,
so if Nintendo had any leg to stand on, they would have done it already.
yeah, that's because if you know Nintendo, usually as soon as something that they feel is infringing on their properties, the first day it's out there, they get the cease and desist and get knocked down immediately.
Yeah, it's like that one they had the so someone actually made a mod for Pal World that replaced everything with Pokemon. Your character was Ash. That person, I think, is going to prison now because he was selling that mod.
Yeah.
uh, I would be like, man, that sucks. But at the same time, who sells a mod? um. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I realized this yesterday. I was like, wait a second. I was a Digimon kid growing up. I didn't get into Pokemon until I was like 15. I've dealt with this before. Power World's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and this should be a slap in the face of Nintendo that, hey, this is what gamers have been asking for, this type of game, and you all could not deliver it, so now
Yeah.
someone else has done it for you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think a Pokemon style MMO in general would have been amazing. But it looks like so I don't know what the multiplayer of Pal World is like. I doubt it's like MMO style, but I do know there is some sort of multiplayer component to it.
Yeah, I've been watching Blitz and the intern.gif play it, and they're just like working together. They have like a camp they're both running, and they're running around catching stuff. So,
Yeah. So
now
I
I do think we're going to see a lot of clones now of this game. You're going to see a lot of different Pal worlds out there.
yeah. So there was one. There are a couple things that have kept me from actually getting it. Is so $30. First of all, I think that's a great price for the game. Like we were just talking about how Riot went too far with their $40 games that should be $15. $30 for a game like this, I get that. I'm just concerned that like on the off chance that I spend $30 and then Nintendo takes it down.
Yeah.
And then there was also someone that said, "Hey, this is just like whenever people were calling Genshin Impact a Breath of the Wild clone," and I'm like, just the fact that you mentioned Genshin Impact makes me not want to play this game. Don't say Genshin ever again in my presence. But yeah, so that's kind of like the state of games in a way, because like these are big news stories that have come out recently as far as the games industry. But in another way, the games industry is looking pretty good because we got some games that we can talk about that are exciting. And I don't remember what order I put them in, so we're gonna go ahead and just start talking about them. I gave you the list. Did you watch any of them?
No, I would have done that if I had done my prep time, and the prep time is gone. So
I might have to, because there's one in particular. I sent you the trailer for Black Myth. Did you watch that one?
probably not.
Uh,
I'll Google it while we're talking.
I'll have to bring that. Like first of all, Black Myth looks like it's Game of the Year material, and it definitely looks like it's up your alley anyway.
Okay.
So first thing, of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This comes out here in a couple weeks. I still don't have a PS5 or anything like that that's going to be able to play this, but I am a big Final Fantasy VII fan. I've talked about that. Cameron and I are going to go see Advent Children in the movie theaters here in a couple weeks as well, just because they're re-releasing it in movie theaters. It's not a great movie, but I like it, and it's got some of the best action in an computer-generated anime I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, like, this is huge because, I mean, Final Fantasy VII is kind of the Star Wars of games. Sephiroth is like the Darth Vader of games. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second one. We're looking at potentially the Empire Strikes Back of video games right here. Like this could be huge. And so I am super excited about it. We won't spend too much time on this one because A, it comes out soon anyways, and B, this is my interest, and I've talked about this enough. So, yeah, I'm super excited about it. I assume you don't have much to say, right?
No, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy.
Okay. Princess Peach Showtime. This is like, as far as we know, at least for right now, this is the last big Switch game, right?
Yeah, did you see the trailer they dropped last week?
Not the one last week, no.
It shows more of the costumes. They revealed some new costumes.
Okay, okay.
I don't remember what they were off the top of my head, but there were definitely new costumes.
So I mean, like this is a platformer, right? It's not just or what? What I still don't quite.
I don't
Understand.
know. I don't. I have no idea, and that's my concern with this game. Some of the levels do look like they're platform fighting things, and other times it's like a mini game, like the chef.
Yeah, the chef one is the one that threw me off.
The chef, the detective ones look like they're something else. And so I'm like, well, yeah, the sword fighting level might be incredible, but then I don't want to be playing a make a cake mini game,
Hold on, but I do love Cooking Mama.
Cooking Mama, yeah. So yeah, I'm confused by this game. I need to see actual gameplay trailers for it. So
Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay now. Okay, so there's the ninja that definitely looks cool. Okay, there's a cowboy as well.
the cowboy, that was the big.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Cowgirl
Cowgirl.
Peach. Here comes the fan art. So there's Sword Fighter Peach. Is this looks like a Kirby game, honestly.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Did you play Detective Peach? What if it's just a Detective Pikachu clone? This is very interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know, how complex the game is. It's the sword fighting like one quick level where you just have a fight, and oh, now the kung fu. Is it for little kids? Is it going to have like 50 levels? Is it what is it? I don't know. So it's really hard to say.
That you know what? Now that you mention it, what is it? Is actually a really good question. So I'm excited for it because I actually really liked Super Princess Peach on the DS. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I play Peach in pretty much every Mario Kart game. So I don't know what this says about me, but but I'm excited. Whenever it's a Mario game, I'm cool with Peach, being a damsel. But every so often, like I like Peach getting her due. So next up we have Hades 2. So tell me, have you played any more Hades?
I kind of forgot I owned it. I've been playing Link's Awakening, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got Hades. Why am I not playing that?" So yeah, probably this week I'll jump back into Hades.
Okay, so Hades 2 looks phenomenal. It looks uh it looks like exactly what a sequel to Hades should be. So we're not playing as Zagreus. I think we're playing as Zagreus's like half sister, something like that. And there's gonna be different weapons. I don't know if this has the so Hades was nominated for Game of the Year. I don't know if a sequel has the possibility. Like unless it does something extremely different.
Right. It would have to do something incredibly different from the first time around.
Yeah, which part of me is like, I kind of don't want them to. I just kind of want them to do Hades again with different weapons. But oh man, I'm super excited for Hades 2. This one, I didn't get Hades until like years later. I'll probably get this one day one because I mean, like I'm obsessed with Hades.
Cool.
All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna rant about this, and then you can talk this game up. Okay.
I don't know
Um,
if I'll talk it up. I'm just happy there's a GI Joe game.
okay, this shouldn't have been a beat 'em up. Okay, this needed to be a Contra clone. GI Joe should have been a Contra clone. It would have been awesome.
Yeah, I've also said that an Advanced Wars clone with GI Joe would also be pretty fun.
You know what Cameron said?
What did Cameron say?
He said like Valorant or Overwatch, like a GI Joe hero shooter would be cool.
That would be cool. That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that GI Joe is one of those franchises that seems like Hasbro doesn't know what to do with, and anything that kind of gets back to the stuff we like, the old cartoon. I'm for it if it brings in new fans and if it can jumpstart GI Joe and get back to what. I don't know if it'll ever be what it was.
So it won't be, because I think we're in a different place in America than we were whenever GI Joe was like at its height.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we're ever going to be as patriotic as we once were. And so that might be the big thing.
Yeah, and we were coming out of a very dark time with Vietnam, and then when Ronald Reagan took office, it was very hopeful, and America's back and all this, and so GI Joe was just kind of the perfect place, perfect time. And I know it's an older property from the '60s, but it was really the '80s when it took off.
Yeah, I mean, like, and even then, like Call of Duty, which is kind of like my generation's GI Joe, has kind of fallen off too, because I mean, Call of Duty really picked up in 2007, which was kind of the middle of the war in Afghanistan. And then I'm trying to think of when, probably around like 2014, 2015, something like that. It's like they were afraid to touch Modern Warfare again. we had to go back to no, we didn't even go back. We went forward. We were in space.
The other thing with GI Joe is the character designs are all very outlandish, and it's very much like, oh, this is a product of the '80s and should always be set in the '80s. And when you don't set it in the '80s, it doesn't work. At least that's my opinion.
You're talking about the one the one Indian guy being, I'm sorry, the one Native American guy being the Native American guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters like that.
I think my favorite thing is people don't realize that Snake Eyes is white. I think that's the funniest thing about GI.
Oh yeah. They had to change it for the movie. That I don't want to get on a rant about the GI Joe movies, but they should all be set in the '80s. They would be much better movies if they were set in the '80s.
Did you see the Snake Eyes movie?
I did not. No,
I did. It wasn't great. Keep in mind, I actually liked the first two, and I didn't like Snake Eyes, so that should tell you something.
Yeah. But yeah, the Ninja Turtle beat 'em up recently was a lot of fun and really sold well. And I don't think that the trailer so far it's interesting, but I think they need to tighten up the speed of the game and some of the stuff that I saw in the trailer. But I think this has potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really funny that this is the game that we spent the most time on so far. But like I said, I would have talked your ear off about Final Fantasy VII if it wasn't coming out in like a couple weeks. So, and Tekken 8 just came out. Apparently that's sweeping the nation now. So good for them. But anyway, what do we have next? Ooh. Okay, this is me. So 10 years ago, I was a young boy who had just got his first job working at Chick-fil-A, because they had announced that Batman Arkham Knight was going to be next gen only. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna get a PS4. And so we had a we had a vacation. We went down to uh, Myrtle Beach, and in Myrtle Beach, my souvenir was I got the Destiny PS4, the PS4 Destiny edition day one. And so while my family was out at the beach, I had hooked up PS4, I'd logged in everything, and I played Destiny. And I have played Destiny for a long time. That was 10 years ago. So this is the final shape. This is the culmination. This is the finale of Destiny as we know it right now. And I'm very excited about it. We have been building towards this for the past 10 years. And I'm afraid they're going to screw it up, but I'm down for the ride. Do you know anything about Destiny other than the fact that it's microtransaction hell?
A little bit, but not a whole lot.
Imagine if so you know how Jedi are space wizards?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine they went really heavy on the wizard part.
Okay.
That's really what it is. And so yeah, this actually was supposed to come out next month, but it got delayed until June. And so we're all hoping that means that we're going to be getting more content, because the biggest problem with the last Destiny expansion, Lightfall, was like just the lack of content. There was no point into that expansion being $60. And so we're hoping that, giving themselves an extra 6 months, that we're gonna get some decent content. But yeah, that's Destiny. It is this is like the game series that these are my Pringles. Like, I know it's bad for me, but I can't stop.
Once you pop the top, you just can't stop.
I know that's really what it is. Like, I got back in. I stopped Destiny for a while, and then I got back into it, and I have been addicted for the past year and a half. Like, it is insane. So that's Destiny. Okay. So let's talk about Metal Gear Solid. Okay. Snake Eater, one of the greatest games to ever come out. This is an easy top 10 of all time, any game ever. They're remaking this without Kojima. I'm concerned, but it's Snake Eater. So how can you mess up Snake Eater? I really hope they can't. But I cautiously excited because it's Snake Eater. And if you're gonna remake a Metal Gear Solid game, Snake Eater is the one to do. I think it was like 3 months ago we got the first in-engine look, which was like, they've got this new engine, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it has the possibility to be one of the greatest remakes of all time. It has the possibility to not. So we'll see.
Have they shown any more trailers for this beyond the one of him in the swamp where it's like a long build up to finally realize what the game is?
So first of all, funny thing about that, whenever we were watching that trailer, I turned to camera and I'm like, yo, is this Snake Eater? And then it turns out it's Snake Eater. So I was one of those, I got him. Yeah, like I said, I think it was like 3 months ago. I'll go ahead and pull it up real quick because it's not too long of a video. I just won't put the sound on. But yeah, we got like some sort of Microsoft like partnership or something like that. where we got is it on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's not carrying over really well through the stream. But yeah, it looks really good. I mean, it looks like Snake Eater, but
Cool.
a little bit brighter.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you ever played any Metal Gear Solid?
I have not. I've never played a Metal Gear Solid. I have watched Story Mode do a video about the story of the first game, so I know kind of the plot of the very first game, but that's about all I know.
All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, as far as like, if anyone ever wants to get into Metal Gear Solid, I would say either the first one or the third one. Definitely. Um, People will crap on the second one, and those people can, kiss them out, whatever.
Yeah.
Because Metal Gear Solid 2 is dope, but it's definitely not one to just jump into. And then,
Yeah, I my least favorite part of Zelda games is the stealth missions. So when I just see Metal Gear Solid, I'm like, oh, he's just sneaking around all the time, and so I'm like, yeah, okay.
that's true. Like you have the Metal Gear experience because of the Forbidden Fortress from Wind Waker. I don't know. Maybe you definitely like Revengeance. Everybody loves Revengeance. Which is funny to think about how that's one of the last Metal Gear games to ever come out. But yeah, I love Revengeance, and I love Snake Eater, and so I hope this game is good. Ooh, okay, Exodus. This is one of those that I would have wished you saw the trailer for. So Exodus is so BioWare is a company that made some of the greatest Western RPGs of all time. You got KOTOR, you got the original Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, and of course Mass Effect. Well, like every good company, all their talent left. And they started a new company, which I can't remember the name of the company. Archetype Entertainment, that's what it's called. And so they're working on a game called Exodus. This game looks phenomenal. And they have some heavy hitting talent involved with this game, not just as far as development, but this game stars Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, I saw this at the Game Awards then. So I
Yeah.
remember
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, like, it really does look like, and they've talked about the similarities between this game and Interstellar, especially with the fact that McConaughey is involved with it. So I mean, if this is Mass Effect meets Interstellar, I mean, this is going to be a phenomenal game. Me and my friends, we play like, so our D&D game that we played for 5 years, that was Star Wars based. Everything was based on KOTOR rules. The MMO that we played for years and years on end was the Old Republic. And so we're all just super excited for this game. This is going to be dope. I don't know if it's going to come out this year, but I just wanted to talk about it because I love it.
Cool.
And I believe next one is actually Black Myth Wukong. Did you pull up the trailer?
When I saw the pictures, I was like, oh yeah, this game. I did see this at Game Awards. Yes.
Okay. I think this game has the possibility to be Game of the Year. This looks like it's based off of Journey to the West. It looks like a mix between Devil May Cry and Dark Souls. Like he's moving around like he's Dante, but then he's got like the dodge rolls and whatnot, like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. And I mean, it's Journey to the West. Like it's a classic story. Um, so this is I really hadn't heard anything about it. I actually, even because I didn't watch the Game Awards because I didn't care. I didn't hear about this until Moist Critical was talking about it. I don't know, like maybe the end of December. It's like, yeah, this has the possibility to be Game of the Year. And I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah. I could definitely see that. So I don't know. Have you ever played like a Souls-like game?
I don't believe I have. I usually play indie games or Nintendo games, and that's about it these days. So
Gotcha. Of course, the reason why I was like, you need to see this trailer, is because it's got a monkey.
mm-hmm.
Do you think that's where like your love of monkeys come from? Is Journey to the West, or do you think you love Journey to the West because of your love of monkeys? Like, what chicken or egg?
That's tough. I'm not sure. Maybe I think the monkey. God, that was about to sound awful. It's like I think the monkey love it came first.
No. I mean, like, no. You know what Cameron said about this game? He's like, it's called Black Myth, and you play as a monkey. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. What's next?
I think as far as like upcoming games, that's actually the last one. So you wanted to talk about something that I don't think exists.
Okay. Sure. There's a lot of rumors going around that the Switch 2 will be announced here the next few months and will be out this year. Okay. If you see the games they were announcing last year for the Switch, it's kind of like, okay, it's time to just re-release all this stuff from the Wii or Wii U, or remaster this, remaster that. So it's clear that they're focused on something else. They're no longer, other than Princess Peach, really developing games for the Switch. It appears, unless they announce a bunch of new games we have no idea are in development.
I'm almost thinking that, because I don't, even if there is something like a Switch 2 that exists, I don't think it's going to be like the next console. You know what I mean?
So
like,
you think you're saying the next console is going to be something different than the Switch 2?
No. I think that what is rumored to be coming out this year is like a slight upgrade to the Switch, like the new 3DS was to the 3DS.
Well, Bloomberg is. Well, yeah, Bloomberg's talking like this one's going to have an 8-inch LCD screen.
Yeah, like it's all just like slight upgrades that, like, you're not going to sell that to a kid. Like, oh my god, bigger screen. Like, who cares?
Well, but I think this is their next system for the next 6 years or whatever.
I don't know about 6 years. How long has the Switch been out?
Like 8 years or something crazy.
Yeah, I don't see the Switch having a 14-year lifespan.
No, I don't. Like I said, I don't think this is. I don't.
Oh,
think
so you think that this is a whole new console?
More horsepower, bigger screen. Yeah.
I don't see. My biggest thing is the fact that, like, if they announce it this year, great. I don't think it's coming out this year. That's my thing. Like,
Okay.
like the people are talking about it's coming out at the end of the year, and they haven't announced it yet. That's my thing. Like for something like this, you gotta market it.
I think we're still in January. There's plenty of time to announce it and market it. And
I can't think of any company that has ever announced a new console and then immediately released it in the same year.
Nintendo, they do what they want to do.
Yeah, and whenever they do what they want to do, we get like the Wii U.
Or what was the Labo? Was that what it was called? The cardboard stuff.
It, yeah, like
So
like it having, I could see it like, okay, so the new Nintendo Switch, that's the name, new Nintendo Switch. It plays all Switch games, and but you have like some things that you can't do on the regular Nintendo Switch that you can on new Nintendo Switch. Kind of like how new Nintendo 3DS had like a little thumb pad for camera or something like that. Like maybe they take the Labo and they run with it, and it's got like a VR thing going on, and so you can play Metroid Prime 4 on your uh, on your regular Switch, but if you want to play it in VR, you can on new Nintendo Switch, something like that.
yeah, I do think VR will probably be part of whatever this is. I also think we'll get the rest of the virtual library, the N64 games, and then we'll start seeing like the Wii games in their virtual library
Yeah. So I think we were going to talk about some things that
or
we
GameCube games. That's what I meant to say. Not
yeah.
Wii.
I think we were going to talk about, because I'm pretty sure we've done this before, but let's do it again anyway. Doesn't matter. It's our show. Um, just some games that we thought could be a launch title for something that doesn't exist.
Well,
'Cause
I think that the launch title, it almost certainly has to be Metroid Prime 4.
yeah, definitely.
I've been hearing a lot of chatter, from rumors that the game is done, it's ready, and this would be a big launch title, because people have been waiting a long time for this.
But it also, so it wouldn't be the first time that Metroid has closed out a system either.
That's
Because
true. Yeah,
Super Metroid closed out the Super Nintendo.
yeah.
Um,
But I definitely feel like we're getting. I feel like Metroid Prime 4 within a year, I think, is almost a lock.
yeah, like this is something that I would not be surprised. What was I going to say?
Like I feel like we're just gonna get a Nintendo Direct one random month out of nowhere, and it'll just
Right,
open with
exactly.
Metroid Prime 4. And you're like, what? And coming out in 2 months. You're like, what?
Right, exactly. And here's the thing: Nintendo's done that before with, they did that with Dread. Now I do think that this should be a bigger game than Dread. So maybe it wouldn't be just, coming out in a couple months. Like I could see this, like I could see us, getting this, like it come like come not E3 time, where not E3 happens, and Nintendo has their annual not E3 Nintendo Direct. And it's like coming holiday 2024, 6 months later, something like that, um or they could be like Metroid Prime 4, get it tomorrow.
Yeah, they've definitely done stuff like that.
I think they did that with Metroid Prime Remastered, I think.
Hmm.
So that is definitely something that can be a launch title. Another one that we talked about was so I looked it up. There actually was a Switch Sports.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
weird. It's like a weird subscription thing or something weird.
It didn't have boxing, so it doesn't count. So Switch Sports Resort should be something, and it should have boxing. Here's the thing: the two games that everyone remembers on Wii Sports was bowling and boxing. You could release a game with just bowling and boxing, and you got yourself a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's my pitch. Just release we Switch Sports, but with boxing.
Yeah, and if it's not sports in particular, it'll be some type of game that takes advantage of the Switch's hardware, similar to 1-2-3 Switch, or some type of weird game that we're not expecting.
Now, here's the thing: people still talk about Wii Sports. Nobody talks about 1-2 Switch.
Nobody even mentions that 1-2 Switch got a sequel.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think they dropped it like out of nowhere like last year, and like with no fanfare, like, oh yeah, we know this is a dud, we got to release this. and so
It's like the 1-2 Switch 2. Like, but yeah, this
yeah,
I
the commercial for it's weird. It's like you could have up to 100 players, and I'm like, I don't have 100 players in my house. Where would I have 100 players? What
I
is
don't
this?
I don't think that you're gonna sell 100 copies, my man.
Yeah.
Maybe they know that. Like, here's the thing: 100 players would have been dope back in the day with like Wii Sports, because everybody was going to youth group because the church had the Wii and it just came out, you know. um, so, but people don't do that anymore, you know.
Mhm.
They um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have much to say about a Switch Sports. So boxing, that's my pitch.
Yeah, this was the sequel.
Everybody
One
1-2
two
Switch.
Switch. Yeah,
Wow.
came out last year.
Is this official art?
Yeah, the horse
Wow,
guy is a big part of it. Yeah.
this is official. Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna get that off the screen right now. So, and then I mean, there have been rumors that this has been in the works for a long time. Mario Kart 10 has to be a launch title.
Almost certainly. Well, I don't know if launch title, but it's definitely coming, because Mario Kart 9 is their biggest selling Mario Kart game ever.
Mario
Or is
Kart
it
8.
8. Okay, I was about to say I
So
think I had the wrong one.
So Mario Kart 9, it's confusing
Uh-huh.
because most people wouldn't consider Mario Kart Tour on the iPhone as like a thing, but apparently internally that's Mario Kart 9.
Really? Okay.
So this would be Mario Kart 10 according to internal Nintendo.
Yeah. So I feel like this has to be pretty close to launch. I mean, Mario Kart is a system seller.
Yes.
I know a lot of people like, oh, I bought a Switch just to play Mario Kart. So,
Which is funny because that game came out on the Wii U initially.
right. Which
Um,
did sell systems. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is so if you've ever played Mario Kart 8 and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they're actually very different games, and the slight changes changed the game completely. Because Mario Kart 8, you can only have one item. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you get two items, and that changes the game completely.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
so and then of course, you got I think that the booster courses, those were probably just holdovers until here comes Mario Kart 10, which, even if it is, because like I found this and I'm like, oh yeah, you got Zelda, you got Fire Emblem. Even if it is kind of like a Nintendo All Stars Racing, I think it'll still be called Mario Kart.
So I'm gonna spring one last game on here that we did not talk about.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I think that they need a like an F-Zero 99 type game, or some type of packed in game for their Nintendo Online to get you to use Nintendo Online. So I think, even though the last one didn't do as well as they were hoping, I think we're going to get some type of Mario Maker 3 or Nintendo Maker that will really use the Nintendo Online service and push that service at launch.
So how so?
Just if everybody has access to Mario Maker, where you can make your own levels and share the levels, and just this online community. But
Oh,
if you
okay.
expand that to like you can make a Metroid levels or Zelda levels or this or that, I could see
Okay.
that being like
When you,
so.
I thought you were implying that this would be a battle royale.
Oh no. Yeah, I used F-Zero 99 as an example. That's not really what I meant, but yeah.
You know what though? Star Fox Battle Royale. That'd be dope.
Oh, it would be so dope. We've talked about that before. Yes, that would be incredible. So Switch 2, I think we will know something by June, definitely about
Yeah.
the Switch 2, and we'll have
So
a much clearer picture. So maybe we will revisit this topic this summer once we have a clearer idea what's going on this year.
plus Nintendo is I think at this point Nintendo is kind of like, big evil company that we actually enjoy talking about at this point.
Nintendo, for all their backwards ideas and putting Dompe and Link's Awakening, they're still a pretty awesome company, and we love them, and we are really waiting to see what they do with all of Universal Studios. There's a lot of rumors about a Donkey Kong minecart ride now, and all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, like in Donkey Kong Country?
Yes,
That's so cool.
and there's been patents leaking out there where there's a part where it's like you jump off of the tracks you're on and stuff, like in the game and stuff.
Oh,
It's gonna be cool.
that can't be safe.
Well, it's an illusion. It looks like you're jumping off the tracks, which you're not.
Sure. I mean, like, here's the thing. I went to Disney World last year. I've seen what they can do to trick your mind into thinking things. So
Yeah,
I mean, I definitely know it can be done. So
yeah. So Nintendo's still one of those companies we love that hasn't gotten ruined by some of the stuff that's happened with other companies recently, where they've gone back and remake beloved classics and screwed them up, and we still have hope for Nintendo. So
yeah, and even here's the thing: even if they do go back and remake beloved classics and ruin them, like a live action Legend of Zelda, I'm still gonna see it.
Sure.
Plus, like I said, we're gonna see we're gonna see what's up with West Ball this year with what was it, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
So, like I said, like just from the trailers, that looks like if you told me that was a video game, that would be a Breath of the Wild ripoff, right? And so, so I'm like, he's already on the right track.
Dude, it's got a monkey riding a horse, and he's calling for a falcon to land on his hand. I mean, that is just cool. Next week we got a really big show. It's like Ed Sullivan. Daniel should be back with us. I talked to him today, and we are going to be looking at a lot of the pop culture around you that secretly came from the Bible, and you didn't even realize it. So that's gonna be a really fun show.
Got any examples to not explain it, but just like a little
stuff like Friday the 13th?
That was not where I thought you were going. Okay. Okay. I thought it was going to be like Avengers or something like that. No, Friday the 13th. Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure that's one Daniel's told me about. I'm trying to remember. It was either that or Michael Myers, or it may have been both of them. But
oh my god, why not?
It's gonna be a crazy show next week. Be sure to invite your grandmother, who goes to church every Sunday. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, and if she's always thought that watching horror movies was of the devil, well, we're gonna prove her wrong.
See, Mom, Michael Myers is based on the Bible, so I should be able to watch it.
You know what's funny? Okay, so you said it was weird that I've never watched Full House with Mama. You know what I have watched with Mama?
What is that?
Christine. We accidentally put it on and we just watched it.
Was did she have a lot of questions the whole movie? Like,
No. She was enthralled. She's like, oh, car.
car, it's coming to get you. Awesome. All right. Well, I have got to run, so be sure to join us next week. Share this live stream out to your friends. Hit that like button. Leave us a comment. And we'll
Does the
catch you
Switch
next
2
time.
exist?
Bigger question: does the Switch 3 exist?
Ooh.
Until then, I've been Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
We'll catch you next time in the Shark Pond. See ya.
See ya.